Hello! Welcome to Nottstopping Festival's Paper Puppets. We're here for Nottstopping Festival, obviously. And we're here with City Arts. We've got a few things happening with City Arts over the weekend. We already had Amelia with paper poetry. So hopefully you caught that, or if you didn't, it should be available on City Arts' Facebook page and website. Really lovely. Get to really explore some poetry. And tomorrow we've got Meredith with Paper Wings, so try and catch that. It's 3 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, where she's going to be doing some lovely origami and some really nice, it'll be mindful drawing, and then you can origami with your mindful drawing. It's really nice. She gave me a little whiz the other day. It was really fun. I highly recommend. So before we get started, really what we need to do is check we've got everything we need. So first of all, we need 2 sheets of A4 paper. Doesn't matter the colour. More fun colours, the better, really. Highly encourage fun colours. However, I'm going to be using white just to show that white's just as good as anything else, and it looks just as lovely. Given it's the easiest to get hold of, I figured I'd be using white paper for today. Okay, so 2 pieces of paper, A4, some tape. If that will appear, I will hold it here. Just some tape, some scissors, 2 shoelaces. Don't know why I said shoestrings. But if you haven't got shoelaces, that's fine. You can use string. We'll be just cutting that down later. But just make sure you've got them. With the shoelaces, you can cut them if they're too long, but realistically, it should be fine. And a permanent marker of any colour you want. That's just for decoration, if you feel like it. If you don't, that's fine too. But permanent markers also in our list of things that we need. So just make sure you've got 2 sheets of A4 paper, a pair of scissors. My camera is slightly behind me, but some tape, a permanent marker, and 2 pairs of shoelaces or some string. Just so you know a little bit about me, I am a puppet maker and puppeteer based in Nottingham. I've worked a lot with City Arts, make all sorts of different puppets, lots of carnival stuff, lots of fun. Try and have a look at me on Instagram. I'm Bryony McCombie Smith with a little underscore in between each name. There are 2, but mine is the one with actual pictures on it. Okay, so let's get started. To begin with, all you need is your paper. So you need 1 piece of paper just to start. And what we're going to do is fold it into 8. And oh, straight off the bat, I dropped my pen. So what we're going to do is fold it into 8s. It's an interesting way. We're going to be folding it the other way you normally would, long ways like this. Then fold it again. And then we're going to be folding it all the way up in half that way. And then, so when you open it out, you should have your A4 piece of paper looking like this. Now you want to grab your scissors, and we're going to cut up this piece of paper, cutting all along the lines as your guide. So then we'll have 8 pieces of little rectangles of paper. There's 4. Don't worry too much about making these really exact. You just want to get them the basic shape. Okay, so then we have 8 pieces. And we actually only need 7 for now. But you want to pop 1 to the side because you will need that later. And 4 of these will be your legs, and 3 will be your body. Okay. Just make sure I'll give you another few minutes just to make sure you've got those all cut out. Okay, so next, what we need to do is prepare our tape, because it's easier if you have your tape pre-cut for you, because what we're going to be doing is a little fiddly, so have your tape ready to go straight off the bat. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut lots of small pieces of tape, and then you can pop them along. I like to pop them along the edge of my tape, actually. So if you've got like a plastic tub or something to put them along the side of, or even the tabletop, but you know, you don't want it to get stuck and leave one of those horrid marks. So now you have to find the end of the tape. Oh God, if I can find the end of my tape. Easiest way really is to just do one long line and then just cut it into smaller pieces. They don't need to be, you actually want them to be quite small, not too big. Ready. Okay, that to one side. I'll give you another minute or so just to make sure you've got those all cut out. Just while I'm waiting for you guys to potentially catch up, mention why we're here. Nottstopping Festival is raising money for key workers. They're going to be trying to give some gifts, treats, and experiences to key workers. So don't forget to donate. It's a good cause. Okay. So now what we want to do is take our pieces of paper. What you need to do is roll up the paper. You can, what I like to do is just roll it up, holding it with both hands, as tight as you can, but it doesn't really matter if it's a bit loose. And then once you've got it all the way rolled up, hold it with one hand, grab a piece of tape, and just pop it over the join to make your tube together, stay together. And then pop another one at the other end to keep it strong. And here's the fun bit, we've got to do that with the other 7. If you find this a bit difficult, what you can do is, I don't actually recommend doing it with Sharpie, but I haven't got a pencil to hand. What you can do is you can take a pencil, or actually, I have a chopstick. Pencil or a chopstick. And what you can do is use this to help you roll your tube. So if you just roll along the pencil or chopstick, it should help speed you up and make it a bit easier to roll up. And again, yep, take one end and the other end. So that's 2. Don't worry if they go a bit unstraight. If you just tap them at each end, you should be able to straighten your tube up. I actually find it slightly easier without chopsticks, so it's all down to personal preference. And don't worry, because you will run out of tape, just a bit more when you run out. Remember to do a nice big chunk so you've got a lot prepared for the next bit. Oh, hi, Sarah. Thanks for saying yay. Welcome. Ooh. And just keep rolling your tube. I see. Death is finding much easier with pencil. Good to know. And hi, Tom. Oh, lovely to. Oh, very nice. You might find you don't always need 2 pieces of tape, but I like to pop 2 on anyway, just to make it a bit more strong and secure, because you want them to be nice and sturdy. I have one more too. Ooh. As Sarah was apparently a touch late, so I'm just going to very quickly pop on the screen a picture of this is how the paper wants to look for you to cut it out, for you to get the right shapes for your little legs. If anyone was late and wants to try and catch up. Dokey. I've got my 4 and 3. I'll just give you guys about maybe another minute to make sure you've got it all done. As I say, I'm just going to say it again. Don't forget to catch Meredith's workshop tomorrow at 3 p.m. Paper Wings. She's going to do lovely paper folding, bit of origami, very peaceful, calming, some very thoughtful drawing alongside it. Really calm you down. And don't forget to try and catch Amelia's paper poetry. That will be on that she did earlier today. It'll be on the backlog on the City Arts Facebook page and website. Okay. I'll give you another 10 to 15 seconds maybe to make sure everyone's there maybe. So I'll, in the meantime, just tell you a bit more about myself and actually my work in the past with City Arts. I've done some really lovely things with them. My favourite thing recently was we made some lovely flamingo floats for the carnival. They were designed for people who otherwise wouldn't be able to be in carnival. Have a look, they're absolutely beautiful. Okay, going on to the next stage now. Okay, so now you want to your, sorry, I've lost my place. Now you want to find your other piece of paper. I'm sorry. And so with this piece of paper, we just need to fold it into 4. We actually only need 1/4, oh, like so. We only need 1/4 of this page. So now I've folded it into 4. I'm just going to cut out along these 2 lines because we only need that 1/4, and you can keep the rest of the paper to do all sorts of other things with, maybe make a little mini set or any other projects you might have coming up. Okay, so we have our little piece of paper. So now I'm going to fold this into 4 like this, in half once. And then in half again. And you'll get some much smaller pieces, and your piece should look a bit like that. And now we're going to do exactly the same and cut along the fold lines. Oh, just realised I didn't say hi to Sphera, who has joined us as well. Now we've got, these are 4 pieces. And now we're going to do, you guessed it, exactly the same. We're going to roll them up into little tubes. Need your tape again. Again, make sure you've got plenty of tape. And again, it's exactly the same, rolling them up into little tubes. Oh, wow, I just realised Lauren is here as well. I didn't say hi to you either. Hello. Okay. Again, these are a bit more fiddly because they're a bit smaller, but bear with. Again, don't worry too much about how thick they are. It doesn't really matter. And this is why you always make sure you have enough tape, because I did that without having enough tape. So I'm going to have to re-roll it. Ever elusive end of the tape. Give you another minute or so to make sure you've got those 4 all rolled up. Our aim to have our 4 little tubes all ready to go. Give you a few more minutes. Just going to take another minute to plug Nottstopping Festival. Remember to try and donate for our frontline workers. They're doing so much for us at the moment. Someone is asking to have a look at what we are making. Yes, I can do that. This is going to be the end product. This will be our final little puppet man. If that is helpful. If they wanted to join in, they need to make sure they've got one A4 piece like this cut out and rolled into tubes. And that's a quarter of the A4 folded like this, cut out and also folded into tubes. I think that would get you about up to date. Hopefully that's enough information. Just say if you need anything else. Oh, I need to take that down. Okay, there you go. Okay, the next bit is pop those 4 smaller ones to one side as well. And we want to take 2 of your longer ones. And now what we're going to do is line them up together, hold them in one hand like so, and get a piece of tape. Slightly longer is actually preferable this time, but don't worry if you've got a small piece, and just tape the 2 together. And holding them together again, you want to keep them lined up. So I want to tape them on the other side. And now they're taped together. You just want to do the other end. I need a bit more tape. Oh, I just can't find the end of the tape today. Apparently elusive. I found it. Hallelujah. Oh, I was going to spend the next 5 minutes looking for an end of a tape. Okay, so as I say, you want slightly longer pieces this time. Just makes it a bit easier. But don't worry if you've still got quite a few of your little smaller pieces from doing the other parts. Okay, so yeah, as I say, once you've got the top half of it taped together here, you want to tape the other end, make sure it's really nice and secure. Okie dokie. So now you've got 2 really nicely securely together, all nice and straight. you want to grab a third one, and just like the other two, you want to line it up so it's nice and straight like that. So you want them all in a row. And again, grab the tape, holding them with one hand. You want to pop the tape around one end, flip it around the same end, all the way around, just like so. And then you want to do the other end, making sure it's really nice and securely on there. More tape the better at this point, because the more tape it's a bit stronger. Again, just all the way around. I am actually going to grab another little bit of tape and pop it around the middle, just to make it sure those three are really securely together. Okay. So I'm just going to pop a little bit right through the middle part there, middle on the other side, just to make this nice and strong. Now this is our body. Well, it will be anyway. Okay. Next is we need to get, how are people doing actually? If anyone wants to weigh in, am I on track? If I'm going too fast, please don't hesitate just to pop in the comments. I'm happy to rehash anything if you need it. Okay, now you want to pop your body just to one side, and it's time to get out your shoelaces. I've got one pair of shoelaces. They're 72 centimeters long, and actually I figured out that this was pretty much the perfect length. So if you've got a way of measuring it, I would cut them to about 70 centimeters. If not, just try and make them reasonably long. That's them in half, about head to chest, about in half. Not a very exact science, but good length. If they're a bit long at the end, don't worry, we can always cut it down. But if you've got shoelaces, don't worry too much, just leave them the length they are. And if you're using string, what you need to do is get a little bit of tape and wrap it around each end. So we're mimicking this end. Actually, I'll show you on here. I can find my camera, which can't. I'll show you on here. So we're mimicking this end bit with some tape wrapped around each end. The body is with the longer pieces, not the short pieces. Sorry if I wasn't super clear. Okay, so now you've got your shoelaces. Now we're going to do is start building up our structure. Okay, so now I'm just going to clear our scene. So what we want to do is take one shoelace and fold it in half. And we're going to be tying it around our finger. I'm actually going to bring up an image to help with this section. So firstly, we're going to, keeping it straightly square in the middle, you want to tie a knot, just a simple knot around your finger. And then we're going to pop a second loose knot just below that, not meaning keeping it reasonably not very tight. And then after that, okay, then once we've got our second knot, we're going to take our second shoelace and pass it in between these two knots. And then once, I'm going to actually take this down and start again because I'm even confused. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, So we've got our knot and our finger. I'm going to do a single plain knot. This can be a bit fiddly, so if you have got a second person, it's possibly easier to do it on each other, because I understand that knotting around your own finger can be a bit difficult. So you want to take your knot and get it a bit like this, and then we want to do a second knot just below. And keep it reasonably loose, a bit like that. Okay, now once we've got that, we just want to double check that they're still about the same length. Yep, because you want to keep it nice and even. Now we'll take our other shoelace. There's my camera. And pop it through between those knots. And then we will, again, make sure they are the same length. And then you can tighten that second knot. And once you've got that second knot, you want to take those two pieces of the second shoelace and just tie them in one last knot around the other two. Like so. I'm going to bring up the picture just so you can see that. But what I am going to do, I'm going to undo my knot and I'm going to tell you that all again, because I understand that this is a bit fiddly. I even confused myself. Questions? Oh, I can, yes, show the short piece of paper again. The piece of paper for the short piece is you want to cut out an A4 like so. And then you want to fold that small piece so it looks like this. Okay. And then, okay, so back to the knots. Brilliant. Okay, so we are back to our knots. I'm back. And I'm going to start over again just because it's a bit confusing. So we start with our middle finger and halfway along the knot. I'm going to tie just a simple knot around your finger like so. Then we want to tie another simple knot just below. Leaving it a little. Okay. And then we'll just double check we've got the lengths about the same lengths. And they're about there. We take our other shoelace and we pass it in between those two knots, making the two lace, that lace, so it's the middle of the lace hits the knot. Once you've got that, you're going to tighten the first knot and you can just pull through your second shoelace to make sure it's even. You want to make sure that this is reasonably tight around your finger because it's going to be a good structural point. And therefore then you get your second shoelace and tie it at the front around your first shoelace. I'm not sure the light on my lower camera is very good, so I'm just going to bring up my image one more time just before we move forward. Okie dokie. So I'm going to move on to we're going to put our puppet together. So we're going to bring our body back, and we are going to take two of your ends and pass it through the two furthest out edge tubes on your body piece. All the way down. A bit like this. Okay. Now, remember that strip of paper we didn't need? The 7th piece on the of the 8 from the beginning, which I just realised I didn't re-mention for the person who was starting late. If you've turned it into a tube, not to worry, just cut off a little strip from your piece of paper that you had spare. What we're going to do is cut little strips, 2 small strips about the same width as one of your tubes. Guesstimate this. You end it with 2 strips about the same width as your tube. Got a comment? Okay, so now you've got those 2 strips. What we're going to do is bring back our tape. We're going to need a few pieces again, so make sure you've got a few pieces ready. So we'll bring back our body. Now, what we want to do is holding the lower string at the bottom, we're going to, it's easiest to do this one at a time. Take one of your strips of paper and just tape it so it lines up with one of your far-sided tubes, just like that. And then you want to take your other one and do the same on the other side of your body. So you should have something that looks a bit like this. Then what we're going to do is flip it. And holding onto our tube, we're going to bring them round and tape them to the front. So you want to be making sure when you do this, you're pulling these 2 threads down so that you hold the rest of the string into the body. And we'll tape them onto the other side. Again, one at a time is easiest. But make sure your other strings are coming out the sides like so. And you've got your body. Your puppet is starting to take shape. You can have a little dance. Give you another maybe 10 seconds to make sure you've got that all finished, and then I'll move on to the next step. Okay, for the next step, what we need is our 4 longer tubes that we should have left. So these are our legs. So what we're going to do is we're going to start popping our legs onto the body. So if you do one leg at a time is the best way to do this. And so you're going to string 2 of your tubes onto one of your lower strings. And what we want to do is we're going to be tying it around our finger again. Again, you don't want to make sure it's not too loose because this is going to be the way that you hold it onto your finger. So what you want to do is go around your finger once, like so, and then around again. And make sure you don't go through the loop because it will just undo itself. You want to just go round the knot. And then if it's a bit like me, it's just a tiny bit too long, you can just tuck it in. If it's a lot too long, you can just cut it off. If you don't want to cut down whatever you're using, just leave it. I think it looks fine that way. Had a few that I did that with. Okay, and I'm just going to show you that again with the other leg. Okay, so we've threaded our 2 leg pieces. Remember, these are the longer pieces. And then we wrap the thread around our finger, get it reasonably tight, and then go around it again. Through and pull tight. And tuck in if you want to tuck them in. And then our puppet's really starting to come together. He's got legs. Okay. Now I'm going to move on to the arms. And it's basically, we want to do exactly the same on the arms with 2 of your smaller tubes for each arm. Thread them on. Tie your knot. And tie your knot. Okay, and these should have a nice long bit of thread. Leave that, don't trim that down. We want the long bit left. So we do the same on the other arm. Again, we knot round, not round, around your finger, nice and tight, and then round again. Don't worry too much about the hand ones to make them fit around your finger. And as you might have noticed, we've got these long bits left. So what we're going to do, to make it a bit easier to manipulate, we're going to tie one more little loop at the end in exactly the same way we did on the hands and the feet, just so you've got somewhere to manipulate your arms from. So you want to just go in just a bit from the end, tie around once, and it's kind of, and again. We can make them dance very soon. We're really nearly there to making them dance. Okay, so then we take the last arm, one more loop. Okay, and your puppet should be done. I'll wait another minute just to make sure everyone's got their knots done. There is your finished puppet. Hope everyone's puppets are looking lovely. Oh, nearly forgot. The last step is your Sharpie or permanent marker, and you can add a little decoration if you wanted. I'm using permanent marker because we've used a lot of tape, and if we used any other like water-based markers, it would just wipe off. So I'm just going to give him a little bow tie. Yep, and some little buttons. And maybe a bit of wiggles on his legs. Make him really stand out. Oh, nice. You really get creative here. Do whatever you want. Just adds a little bit of pizzazz. And give you another minute, maybe 30 seconds. And then I'll start showing you how to pop him together. Okay, so now you want to know how to puppeteer him. The way we do this is we put our middle finger through the loop, and I am going to draw some little eyes on my finger. So we have a little face. Again, you don't need the eyes, but I think it gives him charm. So you might be wondering why we've got this extra loop. You can easily puppeteer him like this with it all close. You have some easy, nice, close angle. But if we want them to dance, the best thing is you get a bit better range of motion if you've got that extra bit of string. And then what we want to do is pop two of your fingers. Oh, you want to pop your thumb in one and your pinky in the other. So then you've got that real motion. And then we want to pop two fingers from our other hand, any two fingers, whichever you find the most comfortable. Now you're seeing why we wanted our string not to be too tight. And I think it's time to dance, if this music will work. And once yours finished, join in the party. Yeah, this is Alma. She's also been making along with us. Oh, he looks fab, Alma. Hope everyone's dancing along. My favourite thing to do with puppets is give them a good dance. was fun. Thank you so much, Alma, for joining us. Let's give you a little wave goodbye. Goodbye, Alma. Oh. Okay, so I thank you so much for everyone for joining me. I hope you've managed to get your little paper puppets made. If you haven't, don't worry. The video will be posted on the City Arts page, and you'll be able to rewatch it. So if there's any bits that you missed, you can just pop back and rewatch it. Don't forget to donate to Nottstopping Festival. We've got it's for a really great cause for our frontline workers. And don't forget that we've got Meredith's workshop tomorrow at 3 p.m. Me and Jerry. I think Jerry is a good name. I always think you need to name your puppets, don't you? Dancing is the greatest form. You've got your own little companion now. If you really get lonely during lockdown, have a little boogie with your little friend. And please, I'd love to see all of your little puppets. I think that'd be really lovely. Try and share pictures or videos of you dancing with your puppets. And at Nottstopping Festival and City Arts, and tag me. I'd love to see them. Bryony McCombie Smith. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and hopefully I will see your lovely creations. Sarah's dad is called Jerry. He doesn't like dance like this. What lovely. Well, maybe you should, Sarah. And thank you and goodbye.